Hi, good afternoon. This is Supriya Nagarajan from Manasamitra. Welcome to a talk about the most beautiful garment, the sari from India. And today I have with me Rosey, who's going to tell us a lot more about the sari and also about how she has fallen in love with the sari and worked with the sari over the last few years. So, first of all, welcome to the show, Rosey. It's wonderful to have you. And
Thank you, Supriya.
I wanted to ask you to introduce yourself to our audiences today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rosie, and I live in Bedfordshire. So, thank you for inviting me, Supriya. And what a wonderful initiative, Woven Festival in Kirklees. Hello, Kirklees, if you're watching this. And yes, my love for saris. Who am I? Well, I'm Rosie. I'm from Bedfordshire. I was born in the UK. Um, Oh, what can we say about me? Well, professionally, I'm an independent consultant for digital transformation. I'm a veteran and ex-NHS digital leader, and I have been working in the sector for nearly 30 years. I'm now in the wellbeing sector. Um, oh, what else can we say about me? There is so much to say. Um, I'm
Go for it, Rosie. Tell
Okay,
us
you want me
all
to
about
go
yourself.
for it? Oh my goodness! So yes, professionally I'm a digital strategist. So I've been working in strategy for quite a while, over a decade now. I lead in a lot of digital transformation. Mainly worked in the NHS, and now I'm in the wellbeing sector. I'm also an ambassador for a cancer charity which deals with colorectal cancer, commonly known as bowel cancer, called Red Trouser Day. And we raise awareness there, and we also raise funds for key research, and the ultimate thing being patient outcomes. So I've been working alongside really interesting and really wonderful champions in the field, survivors, volunteers, and it's all volunteer run. And I've been working on some really interesting projects on research as well, and key developments recently, and having lots of fun and raising funds by doing tough mudders, cook-alongs, writing poetry as well. And that's another thing that I do. I write a lot of poetry. And I'm working on a book at the moment with them that will collate everybody's stories and include a lot of my poetry in between as well. So there's a little project that's going on in the background that's percolating, shall we say, with a bunch of volunteers. So it's a very exciting thing. And if you want to find out, redtrouserday.com, if you want to know more, or if you're concerned, or you need some advice, that's what we're there for. We're all run by volunteers, and we're there to help you. So that's what I do in that sense. I also, in the little village that I live in Bedfordshire, during COVID-19, we came together, and I'm one of the lead coordinators for a response group which brought the community together to help our frail, elderly and vulnerable who couldn't go out shopping for the last year. So we've been running a call service, we've been calling our vulnerable adults, check that they're okay, giving them shopping, collecting prescriptions, and providing a service, basically a safe haven for people to talk, for mental health, well-being, anything in the village. And we also ran a sort of also group sessions that I've also done a cook along with them as well, so which helped a lot of them too. So that I also established the neighbourhood watch scheme, and I'm launching a street watch scheme next month with a group of volunteers. So that's coming along. So a lot of voluntary work going on in the background. And yes, that's pretty much what I tend to do. But my passion, as you can see, is sarees. And I've worn a saree since I was a teenager, not every day, but it's something it's a heritage thing. my family are Bangladeshi, and we go our sort of like line of sort of like heritage goes all the way back, of course, to India, and most of my family are from Assam and Rangoon, but the sari has always been a staple for us. So as soon as I was of age, turned 16, my 16th birthday present was a sari that my mum hand embroidered and also did some beadwork on it, and she presented that to me, and I still have that. I wear it every year on my birthday because I love it. And it was crepe de chine, so it was a lovely crepe de chine. And can you imagine, crepe de chine was quite big in the 80s, so so that's giving my age away as well. So as a teenager, to be able to have a sari and be able to feel like a grown-up in some sense, because I always used to hide behind my mum's sari. So this part of the sari that I'm wearing, we call it a pallu or an achal, and I used to hide behind this for my mum every time because I was a little shy when I was small, and anybody, I used to like hide behind it, say hello. And
I remember that completely.
Yeah, so I think we all did it, and that's my earlier, and I absolutely loved it because this was my safe haven. So I would, when my mum wore a lot of saris, and she had to, when she came over in the 60s to this country, she couldn't bring a lot of saris around, so she went to the material shops in the market to actually buy the material in the 6 yards and make her own saris. She would buy lace separately and stitch on the lace to make it fancy, whereas her friends who, not a lot of friends who were from Bangladesh or India, they would have bought suitcases full of saris with them so they could wear over here, but she couldn't. And I remember this, I would be sleeping on my mum's lap and I'd be holding onto her sari. So that's how I grew up, and I absolutely loved it. And it looked so elegant when my aunts wore it when we were growing up, and it was like, how beautiful and elegant you all look. And they look like princesses.
Absolutely.
And you know what? We all wear makeup and things like that nowadays just to look, add to the sari. They didn't need to wear that. A little bit of lipstick or a lip gloss or something like that. But their hair, you just, they put it up in a bun. Even today, I cannot put up a bun. I cannot do it. I'm useless. You probably have to go to a salon to have a bun done. I could put it in a ponytail or a plait maybe if I had long enough hair. But mum just basically puts herself in the bun, and it just like looked, oh my goodness, mum had, amazing, glamorous.
Yeah, wasn't that the look of the 70s, 80s, even running up to the 90s, where you had even Bollywood had these really glamorous, that bunned look, you have a hat and a bun, you wear these really graceful saris. And I remember being glued to the TV, watching these absolutely gorgeous women wearing saris and dancing effortlessly in the sari. And I always used to wonder, how do they manage to do this? 6 yards, and they carry it so effortlessly and gracefully.
It's so true. And mum used to like put a sari and put the sari around, tuck it in, and then paint. And she'd be painting. And the biggest thing mum used to do is like when every 6 months she would change the room around to sort of like some form of feng shui. I need to move furniture from A to B. It was fascinating what mum used to do. But she used to carry wardrobes herself. She's only 5 foot or less than that, 4'10", and she used to carry these things. And she's got a sari. She says, "Oh, don't worry, tuck in," and she'd be carrying this, and she said, "I've got to do this before your father comes home from work because he'll tell me off. By the time I've moved it, he can't tell me to move it back."
That's so fabulous. That's a fabulous memory. Do you have a laugh with your mum about it even now?
Yes, she does. Yes, we do. And she got me into it when I was a teenager. I'd come in from college, and mum's like half the way up the stairs with this wardrobe, and I'm saying, "Mum, what are you doing?" She said, "Just hold the bottom. I'll be okay." And today I think I don't think I can do that. I could probably do it if I wanted to. I've got the strength to do it, but it's just that, do I need to have an injury before I go to the office the next day is the thing going in your head.
wearing a sari and doing this. Remarkable,
Yes,
remarkable.
she used to do amazing things,
Yeah.
Play badminton. We used to have a Sunday afternoon and we would go to the park and, as a teenager, and there's my mum with a sari with a badminton racket, jumping up and down. Dad's sitting there reading his Sunday newspaper while me and mum are in the court playing badminton. And she loved playing badminton. She said, well, when we, in her days when she went to college, they had to wear a sari. They wore salwar kameez up until I think it was standard 10 or something like that. And then when they went to college, it was sari, and it had to be prim. And if there was a crease in the sari, the principal would send them home to re-iron it.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, so she had to walk all the way back home and walk all the way back after ironing it. They had to be pristine. And she said it was just so strict. It was just unbelievable. Can you imagine having to work half an hour or 40 minutes back home just to re-iron your sari and come back again, because the principal was very strict about it. And I said, I couldn't do that, Mum.
No.
She said, I know you couldn't do that. It was hard learning in our days. We say that to our children now. It was back in my day when we went to school, it was hard.
Yeah, can imagine.
Yeah.
And also, I think in those days, they didn't have the innumerable number of saris like we do in the cupboard these days. It's like they had these choice garments that they used on occasions, and they had the ones they would wear daily. They had the cottons and the mulls and those kind of things. And then they had, because obviously it's tropical, so they had the more cotton-based, natural fabric-based saris. I remember my mum's wardrobe had few saris, but really good ones. And then I've known you now for a few years, and it's always my desire to come and peek in your wardrobe because you wear some fabulous saris, Rosey. Absolutely fabulous. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Most of them I managed to, my mum sort of like passing things to me. You can wear this. The saris she technically passed me were mostly nice, glamorous ones you could wear to parties, and not any of her. She wouldn't even let me sort of like go near her normal saris, because I mean nowadays my mum can't wear saris because she's frail and elderly. She loves to see us wearing saris, and the fact that she can't, so she wears dresses now, and most of the dresses are made out of, I actually recently got her made some from mull cotton. So mull cotton is very hard to get by over here, and I managed to find a friend who with my designs made some really nice comfortable mull cotton dresses for my mum, and she absolutely loves it because she can comfortably sleep in them, wear them. She can get on her scooter when she can to go out if she can. And she absolutely loved the fact, and all nice pastel colors, her favorite colors. She likes the pastels. And so what my mum gave me most of her, I suppose her expensive saris, her Banarasis she's given me, and not many of her like day-to-day. I was sort of like, say, can I have the day-to-day ones? She said, no, what do you want the day-to-day for? I said, no, you're not having those. She used to give, and she does, she used to give a lot of her saris away, all of her day-to-day, take them back because, she must have made them here and take them back. And often she said, why am I taking them back? These have come from India and Bangladesh. I might as well go over there and buy them there and give them to them. So people's, psyches are different. But my wardrobe, I think a lot of the saris, my husband bought them for me. And because he
how much is a lot, Rosey? Shall we talk numbers or shall we leave that?
There's a lot there. I have accumulated a few over the last few years, even last year, because I think I've been falling in love with the natural fibers, and I've been falling in love with hand looms and understanding a lot more about saris, and taking a bit of interest and learning from people. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I've started to learn about, because you can learn so much from listening, but you can learn so much from online. And you can learn the true woven ones from the hand loom ones versus the power loom ones. And over here in the UK, High Street's absolutely beautiful to go to shop. but I tend to get a little bit dizzy afterwards, shall we say politely. I get dizzy because and then you realize a lot of the power loom elements come over to this country. So they are designer, but even though they're designer, they are very elaborate. Yeah. And you can buy only so much of those, and what we tend to do is buy here and take them back home to Bangladesh and like distribute them. And I did have a real big clean out, I think a few years ago. I had a good clean out, and I donated a lot of my sarees that I couldn't wear again. Basically, I think that taste for me, the trends just developed and changed. Yeah, so I donated a lot. I went back in 2016 for a week, and I took a lot with me and just distributed with everybody around to say, and they loved it, because some of them were quite designer, some of them had a lot of dabka work, which is like a lot of stone work, some of them had zari, which is like it's like a foil type thread, as it were, just to explain to people in woven what it is. So it's a lot of thread work, but it's all sort of like machine created, not hand loom. I distributed a lot, but my husband Paul, he absolutely loved it when I wore saris. Our first date was me arriving at the restaurant in a sari, and he was just, according to him, he blew away basically. And then sort of like said, everywhere you go, it's my husband was English, so he said to me, wear a sari because it looks so elegant, and it's a talking point as well. People want to ask you, and it opens up conversations, which I love, conversations to talk about what I'm wearing. I mean, everybody can wear couture evening gowns and say, oh, what are you wearing? Oh, I'm wearing DKNY, or I'm wearing Gucci tonight, or Elizabeth such and such wrote, I'm wearing, and what are you wearing today? I'm just wearing a Banarasi. What's one of those? So I'll explain. So or I'm wearing pure silk. There's a and
absolutely.
And what I used to wear for evening, my husband played golf, so we used to go summer balls, and I'd be wearing a sari, elaborate to the colours. In the evening it was black tie, or if it's black and white ball, I'd be wearing very, black sari with a white blouse, and we'd go together, and it would be a conversation starter for a lot of people. And you meet new people, you make new friends as well, all different walks of life, and that created an element of I suppose creating diversity, something that's intriguing, and someone who, with my diction, wearing something traditional, basically. And it's inspired a lot of other women from our South Asian background who used to wear gowns and things, like to say, wow, I'm going to get one of these saris. That is much more easier to do, and you look glamorous. If you wear something plain, you just bling it up with beautiful jewelry. Or if you're wearing something really elaborate, you just need to put simple jewelry on, and off you go. So it's so customizable, so easy, and people from all walks of life want to know how to wear a sari as well. So and a key example, when my daughter got married in 2017, my sons, their partners who are English, wanted to wear a sari, so I took them shopping, bought them saris, and my goodness, they were the talk of the wedding. They looked absolutely I draped it on them, they were absolutely beautiful, and of course my daughter looked absolutely stunning on her wedding. She was a showstopper,
I am sure.
But they were just amazing, and I thought, great, no attention on me. Let them have the attention. And a lot of people saw those pictures, say, Rosey, would you come to us and drape saris? And of course, my cousin Poppy, and she's had a lot of parties that she'd open up her wardrobe, and her friends would come around, and she'd say, Apple, Rosey, come and can you drape them for me? There they are. And I'd be draping one, a conveyor belt. I'll be draping it, and they look, so amazing. So the women look so beautiful in a sari.
Absolutely.
Where you come from.
Yes.
And you know, I've done that a few times, and it's really, really, really cool. So that's the passion that I have for saris,
It's
and of course the love
shining
of
through,
embroidery.
Rosie. I can see the whole passion. You came alive when you started talking about the wardrobe and the kinds of saris. I could see it all just bubbling under the surface. Yes,
Oh yes,
absolutely.
absolutely. So with all of these saris, so you know, I got introduced in 2018. And 2018 was quite a difficult year. My husband was going through chemotherapy, um, and you know, your mental well-being and health can be, you know, quite low at that time. And then, of course, again, my cousin Poppy, she said, like, you know, here's something that you love wearing saris. You've got a nice wardrobe. You know, you wear them quite elegantly. Why don't you join this group? And I said, what group? She said, you'll just read, and if you want to contribute, you can contribute. But it's just fascinating. And I think she went to one of these social gatherings in the UK, and she says, this fantastic group of women, all from walks of life. You know, have a chat. You can find, you know, you'll find something that resonates with you. And I thought that's a really good idea. I haven't been on Facebook for ages, so go onto this group and join this group. And it's called Saree Speak. And it was founded in India by this beautiful lady called Vinnie Tandon Kenny, and she's quite popular in India. She has a few Facebook groups called Movie Speak, Food Speak, and so forth. And I think it was a brainchild from someone's element. And somebody said, well, why don't you do one on saris? And there are a few sari groups there. So she created Saree Speak. And before you know it, and this year was their 5th birthday. So 5 years ago, she created this. And women from all over the India, and then it started going global. And of course, in 2018, I joined, and it's a private group, and there are rules. And they're very, very good rules as well, to protect people who are putting photographs and stories. And the biggest rule is it's a safe haven. If you haven't got really something nice to say or good to say, just observe. You don't need to say anything at all. And it allows women to be women. And what brings them together is the joy and the bond of the 6 yards that we drape here today. And that's one of the important. And we have women not just from the South Asian background, we have women from all walks of life. We have women from Far East, we have women from American women, Canadian women, we have European women as well, and we've got women from the Afro-Caribbean as well, who have found the joy of wearing a sari through friends or through marriage or through family or through heritage. And then they wear, and they throw pictures on there, throw dance moves, and they tell us about their own lives. They tell us about things that they found out. And the key thing is, it's not commercial. You can't say where you've bought a sari or where you sourced it. If you've made it yourself, that's fine. But you can talk about mental health issues, issues of the day, but not become political. So there shouldn't be any political. Do not share pictures of children, but you can talk about your children, but don't share pictures, because it's protection of the children, because it's also quite important that you're not you're not cruel or malicious or anything controversial, basically. So it's a very, very good group, and it opens up the eyes to understanding. You talk about your sari, what are you wearing today? That's the bottom line, the strap line at the end. This is what I'm wearing today. I've talked about this, but this is where I'm wearing today. And this is the material, this is the color. What you can talk about what jewelry, or what you've adorned with, if you've used a blouse, or whether you've worn it with a top. I mean, I've worn my sari in so many different ways, with different tops. You don't necessarily need to have a tailored blouse. So it opens up that the sari can be worn in any form, in any way. Do you know there are, I think, over 100 different ways to drape a sari, and there are more coming out. And we are mixing East meets West. You can wear a sari like a dress. So there's so many different draping methods. I've tried a few of them, and I think
I
I've
know.
created a few for myself as well.
You're quite the fashionista in the group. I've seen a lot of your pictures where you drape them beautifully, and I don't think we all try to follow you, but I don't think we quite succeed. So there's a masterclass coming up, Rosey, where we learn from you about how to drape the sari slightly differently, maybe.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do follow a lot of women who do drape it differently. So I tend to try and tweak it a little bit so it's comfortable. But there are different ways. A few of my friends that I've made over the last couple of years, I've gone to meet them for lunch. I actually go out with my friends from the village I live in wearing a sari like a dress, and they didn't notice that it's a dress. They thought it was just a nice short skirt, but I've actually combined it, and it's still got the drape over the shoulder. And they said, and then halfway through lunch, they said, "Is that a sari you're wearing?" I said, "Yes, dear." She said, "We didn't realise." I thought where she got that dress from with that top, or where she got the skirt from. And I've managed to do that. And you know what? Mull cotton is the best one to actually use to do that. I've done it with Georgette, but Georgette's a bit tricky. But cotton, pure cotton, it really sits well. You can actually mould it to how you want to drape it, especially if you want to blend East meets West as well.
Nice.
So I've done that as well. I keep a lot of people smiling. So talking
Yes.
about smiling, well, this beautiful lady, Vinny, she created the group. It's now going 150,000 strong globally. And each year, and unfortunately, because of the pandemic, couldn't do it last year, although we virtually do something. We did do something virtually from the UK. What happened in 2019 was Vinny sort of like sent out a message on the Facebook announcements to say 30th of November 2019, we're going to hold a Saree Speak Meet where all women wearing saris will come together and basically party. They'll have events, they'll have workshops, and speakers, whatever you want, you can actually do. And she said, why not globally on this date, whatever time it may be over the span of time, because we're on different time zones, come together, even if it's two of you, come together in a restaurant or come together in a hall or whatever you want to do, but come together and just let's celebrate globally, and let's see if we can go online and see live stream each one of us. And
we did, didn't we?
We did. Well, you see, I sort of like put out a message to say, does anybody want to do it in UK? And then, yes, yeah. So I said, okay, I'll organise something. And it came about. We started to organise, and then it took a different line, because a lot of people, and like yourself, you're up in the northwest in beautiful Yorkshire, yes. And I'm in East Midlands, so East Anglia type thing, yes. And then a lot of our women, we call them sakis, which means friendship in Indian. In Hindi, as well as in Bengali, we call it shoki. So all our friends, they're all around the south region of the UK. So what we did is, I said, what do we do? Short notice. We're all on the go. How many people? So 25 beautiful women said, we're with you, Rosey. Wherever you do, we're with you. We're not going to leave you behind. And I said, right, this has got to be special. If we're going to do something with passion, let's do it. We can do this. And one of these lovely ladies, Asaki, she said to me, Rosey, I've got a contact with the Shard. You have? She said, I'll put you in contact. I'll tell her that you're going to call her. So I did. And she said, what would you like to do, madam? And I said, this is what I would like. And I've got 25 women. What have you got for me? And she managed to get us the Shard. And we booked the Shard, and we had all sorts of challenges. But the day before, we had that tragedy on London Bridge, so it was all worrying. But we still said, no, we're women, we can do this. We were women of passion. This 6 yards are going to bond us. And women with first time, most of us are meeting each other for first time. And we made it. We made it to the Shard. we got there, all these beautiful women started coming, and my heart was going boom, 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 boom,
I
boom, boom.
remember.
And I nearly not walked into the front door of the shard because I was basically having a panic attack, saying, what am I doing? What have I done? I had a cake organized.
A beautiful cake, may I add.
By Saree, plugging these people, forgive me, but this beautiful Saree, they're called Saree cakes, and they're based in London, and they are elite because they service Selfridges and Harrods with their beautiful cakes. And I found them, and I spoke to them and explained to them what we're doing. I said, "Your Saree cakes, and we're having a Saree event. Would you like to take part?" And of course, you know, they said, "We will make you a beautiful cake for you," and they did. And they made extra cakes, and they made cupcakes, which I didn't expect, which is absolutely fabulous. He's become a very good friend of mine now, because he made another cake for us for International Women's Day as well.
Fantastic.
So we did that, and we all turned up, beautiful women, all walks of life. And of course, you came along, Supriya, with a few of your friends as well, which was fantastic. And you gave us the joy of giving us some beautiful songs a cappella, and I couldn't believe it. I was crying. I was emotional, and friends there, they sort of like surprised me with flowers. We did a speech. I read a poem. I just basically. Everybody was wonderful. The food was perfect. You know, everything that they wanted, and I think we were the stars because it was full of colour and full of sarees, and you know, there are photographs that we can share if needed, that basically told us how we women can come together. 25 women out of a lot of women in the UK who were able to come on that Saturday lunchtime, and we spent the entire afternoon with joy, and we went live. We were the only available country in the world that was able to go live and actually stream live to show where we are, and I think we were so popular. Everybody wanted to speak to us from India through to America, wanted to speak to us to say, how did you guys manage this? You've just basically blown it out of the window. I mean, how did you manage to get the shard, you know, and the one of the key focal points of London, the city of London, and you managed to get 25 women in sarees in there. It was just like,
it was the most amazing Saturday, you know, in a long time. I mean, and such incredible women, Rosey. I mean, bringing such wonderful women together, each having the dynamism that, I mean, imagine, you know, 25 dynamic, really individual women in that room. And since I've followed the group on WhatsApp, you know, I'm one of the silent followers. I know that you set up the group and you sort of lead the group in a way. You know, every group needs a leader, and although all the women are very strong in their own right, but they, you know, you sort of need somebody to bring it all together. And I am watching this group of women, this incredible women, and you know, the discussions, the various facets of this group. Tell us a little bit about what Saristas is, and you know, what it means for you and for others.
Well, it's a beautiful group that we brought together shortly after, because we all connected so well, and that was one of my worries, basically connecting, because I like connecting with everybody. And as you said, we've got women from all walks of life. So it started off with us 25 women, and we said we'll create a WhatsApp group. It's much more easier than creating a Facebook group. And it's easy to manage, I think, in some sense. But we adopted the same type of rules that Saree Speak has. We started off as Saree Speak UK, and we have, you know, the same rules, but we have relaxations because we started to get to know each other. So we can actually, you know, if somebody says, oh, I found a weaver that might be interesting to help out to get buy sarees, or we share where we source our sarees, because it's just a small group of us. Actually, it's now about 35 members now. We've got 10 extra members. Most of us silent who watch what we do, which is fine. And that's absolutely fine. But we all keep in touch with each other. And what we do is basically we talk about our sarees. I've been actively wearing sarees since the pandemic because it helps with your mental well-being. I think it actually I open up my wardrobe. Why should I've been airing it. I need to air out the sarees once a year, because otherwise there can be natural decay. Even if it's got natural products, that's why it can have decay. So you need to air out these, you need to air out your clothes anyway. You need to spring clean. So I tend to sort of like shake them out, kind of thing, leave them sprayed around my bedroom all over the place, and then refold them. And what we did basically, as I started getting out these sarees and started wearing them and draping them here in my conservatory, because it was nice and warm, and posting pictures in the group. If I had a story to tell, I would put it on the Saree Speak group, the global Saree Speak group, and tell a story and say, this is why I'm wearing a saree. I used to make all the friends on the saree group laugh quite a lot. I just wanted them to smile, wearing saree in different ways, and just make them smile and laugh and say, look at this woman, she's nuts. Basically, she just wants to make us smile, because people can get really gloomy, because your mental well-being can really go down, especially if you're locked in your own home. And it doesn't matter how big or how small your home is, and of course how your dynamics in your family are. Could be a large family, could be a small family. Like me, I couldn't see my mum for months and months and months, so we need to have an outlet. I can speak to my mum on the phone and WhatsApp her, but it's not the same as seeing her face to face. So it's helping my mental well-being as well as everybody else's. So we suddenly decided, it's like, UK Saree Speak sounds quite long, so what should we call us? So we should call ourselves something. And a beautiful Saki, her name's Sangeeta, and she sort of like said, why not blend sarees and fashionistas together and call ourselves sareistas? And I say, isn't that fantastic? There were a few other names, and the big vote went to sareistas because it was easy, it was punchy, it was brilliant to use, and we became the sareistas. And then we sort of like said, right, brilliant, we're sareistas, and we sort of like said, we're the sareistas, we're the UK Saree Speak, we call ourselves the sareistas. But we didn't want to branch off from the global Saree Speak, because we still want to stay connected with them. And we became that, and which was absolutely brilliant. And that happened in 2020, before the lockdown, and we kept in contact. In early 2020, I went to Goa for a holiday with my cousin Poppy, and we enjoyed a nice relaxation week away there, and we met Vinny, the founder of Saree Speak, and we had a wonderful evening with her. I actually wore this same saree.
Very nice.
when we met, and she was just basically, she was enthralled that her first question was, Rosey, how did you do the shard? and she was absolutely fantastic. She's a fabulous woman, a woman with substance, a woman who she's a homemaker, but a homemaker with style, and I think it actually inspires us, because it shows that it's okay to come from any walk of life and do what you do and be smiling about it, basically. And it builds networks and friendships, lifelong friendships, because you're all thinking, you're in the same mind space, and you know what, the saree binds us together.
Absolutely.
So Sareistas came about. We had just before the lockdown, we managed to meet in a lovely restaurant in London on International Women's Day, and then the lockdown hit, and so we were all saying, what do we do? What's going to happen? So few of us decided, isn't it a good idea to have, say, a group that we can come together and talk about anything from books, films, to how we're feeling today, kind of thing, and health issues and things like that. So I set up, we all set up a Zoom session once a month. So we would come together wearing our saris, we'd have themes perhaps, and we'd talk about anything and everything. In between, we have a few of our saristas would come up with ideas to say, let's make a video. So, what do you talk about video? So, well, let's make a video about, we have this theme tune, which is called London Tumarka, which is London giggle, basically giggling in London, happiness in London. So there's a song there, which comes from this film, a Bollywood film called Queen, which is quite a beautiful film. If anybody wants to watch Queen, it's a beautiful film of a woman coming into Europe and doing a European tour herself and finding her passion and finding her inner love, basically, for herself. And there's a beautiful song in there. And we use that song, and we came up with a video. So, and it's all about your well-being and your mental well-being. And we're either dancing to it, smiling to it, and we're wearing our saris, different types of saris. And it comes together into a video, and then we share it with ourselves. We posted it on Saree Speak to say, this is how we're overcoming our lockdown, and this is how we're keeping ourselves smiling. After that, another one came about tea. Let's make tea and hand each other tea. It's about, there was this challenge about different challenges where you could see on YouTube people passing lipsticks to one person to another. So we themed it. Some did it with saris, but we thought, why don't we do it with a cup of tea kind of thing, because we can't pass our saris around to anybody.
Yeah.
Let's do a cup of tea as we're making tea, passing tea and savoury and sweets. And it worked really well. And we dubbed it with another popular Indian song, which really worked well. And we made a few of these types of videos, which uplifted a lot of women and perhaps their anxieties, perhaps also getting them away from their mundane or worries or concerns. Some of our group members are frontline clinicians who are on the front line saving lives during COVID, and this was a wonderful thing for them to take a release from and also take part in as well. And I feel so proud that we were able to do that and be able to hear the stories and also listen, because it's important. I'm not there saving lives. The only way we as individuals are saving lives by staying home and away and keeping safe in essence during that period. But our wonderful champions are in the NHS, and most of our champions are from South Asia as well, who are actually going there and treating patients, putting themselves in harm's way just to save lives. And it's important back in that sense. So those things help them, and also wear saris as soon as they came home threw off the scrubs, put on a sari. It's just they felt happy.
That's such a happy story, and that's such a wonderful journey from being in love with a sari to now having a group of sari lovers who are friends and who are sari lovers, and that correlation. Thank you so much for sharing all this. It's been eye-opening for me. I know the things that you do, and still I have learned a lot from what you've just said today, and it's been really interesting. I haven't even seen how the hour has passed. My last question to you would be, if you want to summarize the sari for you in a few words, what would that be? What is the sari to you?
The sari to me is something that bonds. It's my heritage. It's something I'm proud of. It's brought me love. It's sustained my love. It's also something that I pass on to my daughter. She can wear a sari. She knows how to wear one. And it's something that I hope goes on for, you know, years, centuries on. I think we're reviving it. We're bringing it back into, bringing it back to life. A lot of young people are wearing it. Our influencers are sharing it, which is really important. And it does bind, it tells a story. Each and every drape that I wear tells a story. The sari that I'm wearing is a staple from Bangladesh. It's called the Jambani Weave, which is, you know, it's the classical weave. It dates back 2 or 3
gorgeous.
centuries.
Yeah.
And it's muslin. It's because muslin's a form of cotton that is refined, and that's got a history within itself. At one point, I think in the 17th or 18th century, muslin was more expensive than gold, and that weaving is coming back because it was nearly going to become extinct, and we're really pleased that these traditional elements are coming back. So that is really important. That's the heritage, and that we've got to be all proud of. You know, even though I was born and brought up here, but that's my heritage. That's running through my veins, and I want to keep that alive. And I'm hoping this showcases in the Woven Festival that there are heritages of all types, from the Silk Roads, you know, going all the way through China, through to South Asian, India, Bangladesh. You know, this will carry on basically, and that's really important that we showcase that and celebrate it, and the fact that this piece of cloth has actually brought me new friendships. More than 30 new friendships. Actually, nearly 150,000 people see and read, you know, what I've written, and other people that have written. And I think we're bringing this into the 21st century, and we wanted to go on for centuries to come as well. So that's really important to me.
Thank you so much, Rosey. That has been a fantastic hour spent with you. I'm sure the Woven Festival will be better for this discussion, and I think there is a lot more to explore, and I'm hoping the future editions will have us discuss and possibly even have a demonstration of you draping the sari with different people volunteering in 100 different styles and plus. But thank you very much once again for volunteering to speak about the sari and the Saristas group and the difference it's made to mental health and what the sari means to you. It's been such a pleasure to spend this 1 hour with you. And hopefully the sari will live on as a garment for a long time, as you've said.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm hoping that we don't have to do this virtually. Hopefully, once we're in a more safer zone, shall we say,
Yes.
I will hopefully in future be able to visit the Woven festivals in future, because it will be a lovely to come up to actually meet people and to showcase what we know, and hopefully some of my saristas will come along as well and spend some time as well with you all.
Absolutely, totally. And you know, open invite to come and spend time with this Sarista in her house.
Definitely.
And in the festival in next year. So definitely, Rosey. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.